Hello and welcome everybody. This is a very special episode of the Let's Dig Into That podcast. It is our holiday episode, so we're doing things a little different on this one. Of course, this is the podcast where we share our shit to shake the shame, try to breed connection so we can all heal and grow through it. But today we're going to keep a little bit more upbeat. And who am I going to do that with? I'm going to do it with my mismatched earring-wearing, compliment-firing siren. That's Jordan, everybody.
Wow. I am so just blown away. Thank you. Thank you for sitting with me. Merry Christmas.
I didn't put
holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. I didn't put the emphasis on firing, siren. I screwed it up.
I mean, take it from the top. Oh, I'm postured up here. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling jingle belly because I am here hosting with the master of the mic, the muscle-bound poet, my tattoo dude. It's Santa's first baseman, JT. That's right.
I like it.
Yeah?
It's good. Santa's first baseman.
I felt like there was a chance you would be offended that you're like, if there's any relationship I'm playing with Santa, well, I knew first base you'd respect, but
I'm glad that you didn't just straight up call me Santa, because last night we watched the Queer Eye where the gentleman needed to step out of his dragon suit, and I was just like, yeah, I don't need to be Santa Claus. I just get to pretend to be Santa Claus. That's okay with me.
Prank call. This is fair warning. JT does impersonate Santa. Yes, and he's really, really good at it.
And for those of you that don't know, crank call, that is our cue for, hey, if you got kiddos listening, probably tune them out.
That's right. And I assume that I assume that you just crank call, everybody runs away. I'm not yelling fire. So thank you for explaining that. So with the holidays, though, you play Santa in a very populated room.
I sure do.
You have come naturally, I've learned. You said you were born for this job.
That's right.
But you stepped into a ring of fire. My family Christmas is a sight.
Bonkers.
I'm sure we've referenced it
and
on
it's
this.
so much fun.
It is bonkers and so much fun.
So much pimento cheese.
Hallelujah. Praise.
It's the only time a year I eat it.
Man, the meatballs, the pimento cheese. It is next level snack around because there are about, give or take, 100 or so folks. And in the mix, there is a beautiful tradition of the kids gather around the tree and they sing the 3 songs we've learned as a group. So we got like Rudolph, Round Robin, let's keep it going. And then JT's never been able to witness that magical side.
I'm always putting on the suit.
Because he's in the garage filling
up my goodie bag.
The suit. So crank call. He's slipping into that suit. I'm the jingle bell toter.
I'm just saying a helper.
Yes.
I'm just a
but
helper.
how lucky are we that we get like a fresh baby every year? And as by choice, people with no kiddos, it is really fun to snuggle the other nuggets. So.
I'm excited to hold that little nugget for sure.
So this was a role we used to put like new boyfriends, like somebody brought a date and we're like, hi, brand new cousin. You are now going to sit where everyone's eyes, memories are being made. This is all being recorded.
And now it's a fight to the death. If someone wants to take away my duties, and trust me, I'm feeling the magic. It's going to be...
You're feeling the magic. The spirit got you this
I'm just saying, if someone tries to challenge my Santahood, I'm already feeling the magic. It's bad news for them. They're getting coal.
Over my time with this family I was born into... No one is a threat to your race.
Yeah, that's true.
There could be maybe that certain age if there's like a particular nugget that they need to invite up. But you do such a wonderful job.
That's very nice. Thank
that
you
is
very
a
much.
big tradition because there's a lot where we're like, who the heck is this one? And so, yeah.
My elf does great whispering names into my ears. That's super helpful.
That would be me, folks. That would be me.
So you know what? This is our holiday episode. What I want to know from you is, what is your favorite holiday tradition?
My favorite?
Favorite one. Can you pinpoint one?
Well, I like to keep things fresh. And so to be in like tradition, I unfortunately have a slightly negative connotation where I'm like, that means like you got to put on an uncomfortable outfit for church.
So
Like,
when you hear the word tradition, that's a negative thing?
not necessarily. Tradition means I get to see family.
Okay.
And so it does have a very positive, like, but those are like the first where I'm like, what am I going to have to put on? Like childhood trauma.
What scratchy
And
crap's
my
could be on
mom,
my
she
skin?
did dress me well. I was cute. But you know, stuff's itchy and
Yeah.
uncomfortable and you don't feel like you're yourself.
I had a great grandmother that gave us a very expensive, super nice. It was like our nicest clothes every year for Christmas, Lacoste outfit.
Oh,
And they
didn't agree with you.
It was usually like sailor themed. I was like, "What is this?
We don't have a boat.
Where's my dinghy?"
Where's the skipper of my dinghy? So my favorite, I think, has to be Christmas Day. I mean, just is very simple in, well, not really for us, because for the past
4
almost
years.
20 years for me, I've been
Wow.
flying on Christmas Day, which is a unique travel day and really fun. And it's upbeat most of the time.
Until I connected with you, I had never traveled on a holiday. That's a baffling thought.
Even
in
in
my
the
mind.
car, like the hustle around yeah. And I see, but I have very amazing parents and we've worked out a cool dynamic. So
Yes.
Christmas Eve, you shine on stage. It feels like a stage. There is no literal
Fireworks,
stage.
smoke machine.
There is.
It's all there.
There's often pyrotechnics involved. Our hosts are my amazing godparents and cousins and
they host a lot of us, including a exchange student.
We have a South American exchange student.
And do you remember when we asked him how this compares to his Christmas experience? And he says, back home, it's less dangerous.
That checks out for my family. That completely checks out.
I will never forget that. That's hilarious.
There's it's a little less dangerous.
But I interrupted you. I
So
wanna hear
eating
more.
is going to probably be my favorite. My favorite thing about
That makes
traditions,
sense.
period, food. That's just that's all encompassing. I don't know how that wasn't my first answer.
Yeah.
Because after the outfit comes the snacks. And so I think that breakfast pizza, when I get back home, my pops,
Yes, that is such a great tradition.
and the Chiefs play football. And I go Kansas City. So I'm wearing red.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of wins. It's
That's-
a lot of big wins.
That's awesome. Those are amazing traditions. Mine are definitely much different.
Yes, enlighten me.
Growing up, I had a much smaller family, obviously, and we were in the liquor business. And so the holidays...
We are too. Don't get me wrong.
The holidays were busy. That was our busiest time of year.
Right, retail, tricky.
Hands down. We were always open Christmas Eve. We did close the doors a little bit early, sometimes 10 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock. But Christmas Eve was everyone got back to the house after working our family business and we just relaxed. Usually there was a crock pot meal. But my favorite part of it was our neighbors next door moved away and they had a hot tub and they were like, could you please take this hot tub from us? And that's how we inherited this woodpecker filled squirrel den of a hot tub.
This is not a euphemism.
that we used once a year. Christmas Eve.
Oh.
We'd all sit in the hot tub and relax after a long day
That's
at work.
cool.
And my parents
Snowing maybe.
Yeah, and when we were really little, we'd look up in the sky and my parents would be like, "Oh, I think I just saw Santa
Go
going
to
across."
bed.
And
Yeah.
that was our thing. And my parents would let us have a little sip of whatever they were sipping on, and usually they had something special, and I remember this, and it's funny as an alcoholic to remember, but
There's a lot of blurred lines between childhood and Santa being in the sky.
Well, now
and
now
the
I
level of
understand.
alcohol.
My parents were always very responsible with that, but they did let us have a little sip, and it was always something special. They got out their special stuff. My mom would drink the eggnog that really good friends of theirs from their bridge club made every year.
Love it. Love it.
And I did not enjoy that. And
Not your flavor?
no, not
Is
my
it
favorite.
anyone's?
You know, later in life when I didn't care what I was putting down my
Oh,
throat.
sure. The
I
alcohol.
didn't mind the eggnog at all. Yeah.
Sure.
I could use some extra calories,
I was going to say, I think the caloric content
but definitely
is always limiting.
yeah, definitely the first time I ever had Bailey's, first time I ever had Grand Marnier. And I've now realized in adulthood that those sips were based on, let's get him to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. There's Santa. Have a little schnapps.
And so that was our entire tradition. And you know, we don't have a lot of family in around. And when my family was around, they were on the East Coast. And so it was,
Nice and intimate, though.
just the four of us. And it was actually really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, good memories.
It's funny that tradition, I think about all the beauty, like our house is crazy because we are us. And so
Yeah.
we have a Christmas tree forest.
Yes, we do.
Which is because why not have 5 trees? And we use it as there's a beautiful, lots of windows right there. And our dogs like to peek out there a lot. And so it buys us so much time on not
Yes, it
having.
does.
It's a beautiful display.
Don't have to clean the windows. The dogs can't be constantly barking at the deer. We should leave it up all year.
Right.
Just throwing it out there.
We should leave it up, and we could because we are fortunate to live in a bit of a secluded place where, for example, our house is crazy, but we made the choice silently together to not do anything outside because no one but freaking Amazon delivery. It's just, intimate traffic. And so we made it a blast inside. How competitive would you be if we were in a residential, more neighborhood setting?
Well, see,
because we've never lived together in that capacity.
I am not going to give up on our current residence as far as it's primed for perfection. We just need to buy
I didn't say we were moving.
Well, I'm just saying, I have this vision someday that down our driveway, we
trick this joint out.
Oh, man.
We'll be a stop.
It could be amazing.
Tour.
We've got trees down our quarter mile long driveway.
Trees, brush, scrub, desert. It's a weird mix. Yeah, we got
But
stuff.
I think it would be really cool to just go ham on extension cords one year. And get that thing lit up. And
Walled it.
Yeah, I'm down. And we've got the 2 big pine trees that we could get going great. We could make our house an extravaganza.
Can I call you out on this podcast real quick?
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, I just said, I confess that we made the silent decision together that we wouldn't decorate outside. But we talk a big game in October.
We sure do.
This year, I'll give you a pass for sure. But the past 2 years, I have purchased differing outdoor light clips. And we have hung 0 outdoor. We've done good greenery work and wreaths and stuff again for, a limited traffic. But I purchased the first ones that were apparently not good enough. Second set, what was the verdict? You just didn't.
Well, the way I feel about it is, what's the point in putting 1 strand of lights across our gutter? I don't get it.
I love my gutters way more than I
was pumped about it the first year, and we had more lights the first year that we lived together in this house.
Who doesn't?
But it's got to be all or nothing. I have this vision now of our entire driveway, and it's why am I going to put up that 1 strand?
And now all I can see is the horses we'll need for the sleigh.
Yes, exactly.
So we're going to need to find some loved. The vision is okay. So do you ever feel? Sometimes I remember I'm American, just it comes to me and I'm like, oh, look at this. But culturally, traditions, we aren't necessarily that old.
No, we're still a new nation. Yeah.
FOMO. I wish sometimes that I was, and I've been fortunate enough to experience some really cool shit. I went to a mission outside of San Antonio. And to a mariachi Easter service with my mom, and it was absolutely magnificent. That was super cool. And I lived in Florence, and I was there for Easter in Italy, and the wooden bird flies to the Duomo, and those are cool historically.
Yeah,
read about in
century
books.
Old.
Yeah, and that was really empowering. And sometimes I'm like, man, breaking a wishbone. Or carving, Thanksgiving's not what I'm hanging my hat on. I love eating, as we've mentioned, but so it is a favorite, but it's a tricky one. And
I understand where you're coming from with that. And there are some.
Do you ever struggle with the youth of America? That's what I'm asking you.
There are some really cool traditions in other countries that,
envy.
It makes me think, what does it take to create a tradition?
Right. So tradition being beliefs, behaviors.
Yeah.
That a group of people,
right,
how many?
That's a great question. I mean, that's exactly sort of where I was going with that is, can you have a personal tradition?
Right. Could it be a singular? Because I have habits, I have routines, at 11:11, I will recite my mantra or throw a gratitude. I have little things, But I think those are more like my customary practices.
Yeah, I think the word tradition comes with more gusto, comes with more emphasis. I think it has to be involve more than a small number of people. I think it's got to be something that's widely accepted. Is that crazy to say?
I think the argument is strong for wide acceptance.
Maybe just your family, but at the same time, I don't think two people can really.
So we have a tradition because your dad was a genius and he started, I love a good scavenger hunt, obstacle course, puzzle, game. I'm into all of it.
Yes.
And so when I found out that your family had a tradition of an Easter scavenger hunt to find your basket.
Oh, it was amazing.
Because the resurrection of the birthday party we're having today is Easter's a hoot to me with the rabbit in the basket. It's so much fun.
Yeah, our Easter
scavenger hunt, that was next level. I was like, I found my person.
I stole it. It's how I proposed.
That is accurate.
I've stolen that from my dad over and over again. But Easter was amazing because we'd wake up whenever we felt like it. Sunday, always a nice day, especially for a family who was in the liquor biz, because here in Colorado for a long time we weren't allowed to be open on Sundays.
That's right.
Those were the good days. Those were the good days. But you'd open your door, and your door would kick this egg. It would just fly down the hallway, and you'd be like, "What was?" And then you'd open it, you get your first clue, and your first clue took you to like a little candy, and then you opened up another egg, and it took you to a different place, and there was something a little bit bigger. But the biggest one I remember was my sister's 16th birthday. She opens an egg, and there's car keys in it, and she's like, "What?" And she didn't get it at all. And then my dad's like, "Go to the garage." And Honda CRV, it was amazing. You know what I got that year?
Honda, too. Magic.
You know what they got me this year?
Plug.
Nailed it. Got my sister a car.
Same year.
Same year.
So older sister.
My big end of scavenger hunt is a shopping cart they stole from the thrift store behind our business.
Oh, your parents thefted?
Uh-huh.
That's sweet.
The thrift store had gone out of business, so it wasn't really stealing, but at the same time, it had to belong to somebody.
They brought a treasure
home.
home.
My gosh, I put all my clothes in that shopping cart and I just wheeled it into the shower, and so I just had my I just had my shopping cart full of all my clothes. And
how do we keep the mystery alive after so much? You wheeled it in?
Yeah.
To wash?
Yeah, I would wash, and then I'd have all my clothes right there, and it was my mobile little changing station. It was awesome. You don't like that? It was so cool.
Changing station with his diapers on the lowest rack.
I think it was awesome. It was awesome. I don't care. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm so grateful because many people would be like, "Ooh, shopping cart, Honda SUV vehicle."
They nailed it, in my opinion.
They sure know your kiddos. That is some exquisite parenting. So, speaking of the beautiful things that bind us, my shopping cart.
You did have a shopping cart.
I did have a shopping cart. Walking home, 8th grade, and there was a shopping cart left behind. It was discarded, and I saw, much like your parents, treasure.
Yeah.
And so, pushed it on home with my backpack and my buddy's backpack in it, and then I, unlike you, cut the wheels off. Well, no. Pause. My dad cut the wheels off and then painted it up. And I stored magazines in the little baby seat. It sat in my room. I painted it this matte gray, and it had decorative pillows. Not one time did I use it to
Yours was an
wash.
art installation.
You're a weirdo.
Mine was a tool.
I love you. And despite all the warning signs. But no, traditions are powerful. That's why they last for centuries.
Exactly.
So probably takes more than 2 people to keep that alive. Your argument, I think, is right.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
So there's positive, because again, I started with itchy outfit. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was getting to a question on what traditions have you heard of across the globe that you really think are special that maybe we think about incorporating, or
we revolutionize here.
Let's start it.
So, because we're proud of our fireworks. That's us, right?
Yeah, we do fireworks for
4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July? Yeah.
Sorry, you're a Santa. Yes. I should have opened with, we blow out candles on birthday cakes. So those are some.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I didn't even think about that as a tradition. I said interesting.
That's allowed because I mean fascinating. But yeah, I think they attribute birthday candles to the Greeks. I could be corrected on that for sure. But in divine light or wish for extra candle for that extra year.
I love Greek culture. They own everything. If
Got their hands in all the pots.
We both come from a wine background. If you ask a Greek person where any wine came from, it's Greece.
We can do a whole, as two non-drinkers, I will do an entire happy conversation. We can stick to just white varietals, and I will go all day. Have you seen how they train their vines in baskets?
Yeah, because it's windy.
Stay tuned, folks. It's coming. So, what traditions crazy from around the world? Well, I think that I love when we put others at risk. And so I think that like the wife throwing is a good one.
Where does that happen?
Wife tossing. Finland, they do a wife carry. We also have baby jumping in Spain, which again, I think a lot of this is, again, we just got to fend off evil. There is a lot of diligence. Because again, the point of traditions with this group we've now established, you're believing something, but there is significance and special, like this ceremony has meaning, symbolic something is going on there. And so you got to jump over these babies in Spain.
And why do they do that?
Well, again, I think wording spirits. I didn't do a ton of, I just was like, you've got to be kidding. And then they used to, I'm sorry to bring it up because allegedly banned, terrifies the heck out of me. But they did do in India a temple. They would toss babies. They would drop them from
a temple?
From a higher height and be caught. And it was,
oh my gosh.
Traumatizing and
so our tradition's
bad? But I believe that's probably, it's hard to break some bad habits. And so let's see, what else do we have? This one, I love. You have German, so polterabend. I apologize, everyone, for my pronunciation. So it's very noisy. It's all about breaking. I think there is a linguistic connection there, like something, a bend might mean noise. Okay.
That means broken.
Oh, okay. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Gosh, the English-German crossover strikes again. So the night before a couple is to get married, all their people come to their front door and just break a ton of crap. And they make a ton of noise and they throw a little party and it's all in good fun. And then the couple unifies in cleanliness and hopefully
cleans up all the breakage.
And cleans it up. And just, they're going to start this beautiful, clean life together from the wreckage shit.
I really like that. I really like that tradition. That's cool.
Polterabend, I believe.
Polterabend.
And so, night before a wedding, I also think like New Year's Eve. That's kind of a good one.
Yeah.
And so that's not necessarily, but like I love to do a little personal like burning, letting go. I'm better. Yeah, I'm great at writing it down and burning it. Love the fire, have contained. But the letting go of the things that no longer serve you.
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
I have. I think that is a widely practiced tradition.
Have you heard of the letting go part? Have you had success stories? Can you give me their number? Yes.
No, I think that's a very positive. Anything that incorporates a mindfulness and sets intentions, I think, is a really positive tradition.
You're a pro-resolution?
I believe in resolutions, but I don't like to frame them that way because, like, it's become if you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're like, oh, this is my resolution. So when February comes, that's done. I don't like the word resolution, but I think setting your intentions and letting things go. And I've definitely been a part of people who like to write down their goal for the year and put it in a box and then open it the next New Year's Eve and start the process over again. I think that's really cool.
That's great.
I think intention setting is powerful. And
one that I'd like to incorporate this year with that is like having a big year goal. We like to set goals. You've talked about SMART goal setting. And again, I'd like to stick to them. I'd like to resolve to stick to my goals a bit better this year. And I think that having that one big one is great, but having the seasonal, when you can look back and having that box idea of opening a year from now and being like, oh man, and jotting down, kind of like a time capsule meets crystal ball. That would be super cool. But I think having a seasonal something, because I think looking back where it's just like, oh, didn't paint the house. Yeah. It was my only goal. But it's like, no, but oh man.
I love that.
We started a podcast in the fall.
Yes.
And screw the house paint.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Do you have any traditions that you'd like to implement?
That's challenging because it's hard to just come up with them off the top of my head.
That's true. I feel like I should have started because you really care about Christmas. You taking the Santa situation, first baseman, seriously.
I am huge into Christmas and I always have been. And I really credit my parents to that, where they made it special for us, even though it was their busiest time of the year. And, I think that when I look back on my life, my parents probably stretched themselves a little thin to make sure we had a really, really nice Christmas every
Cheers
year.
to all of the assembly required parents who have worked their asses off, going the extra mile to try to get that, to make it special in any way they know. So much love.
Yeah, so to answer your question
That's
about
so sweet
tradition I'd like to incorporate, my mind always goes to kiddos. I mean, that's what I do, and that's what I am really passionate about. And so I would like to start something. We talk about philanthropy and what we can do to give back. And so Christmas and my love for that,
to have a Christmas focused more.
Yeah, something that we can do to really give back to our community and the kiddos in our community, I think would be a tradition that I'd want to start. And so I don't have specifics yet.
It's
but
great
I'd
that
like
we have
to...
a year-round tendency, but it's true that we don't really have, except for coats. And I like to we do good donation things, but you're right, a little extra special.
But maybe one of these years when we get our driveway all lit up, maybe we've got something for the kids that we can that they can count on every single year.
Wheels
at our house.
are turning.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure everyone has now realized that I have hornswoggled Christmas. So it's become evident from the outside.
What do you mean by that?
Granted, I'm going to give your mom a little bit of a shout. She did move farther away.
My mom did move further away. And we'll figure out that
And we've
dynamic.
got a great plan in place, and everybody's happy and feeling the love as much as we possibly can be when we're not all able to be in the same room. And so that sucks. So I am going to convince her to come.
Yes, I think that she would enjoy that. I think her either going to Missouri for the giant Christmas, I think she'd have a great time doing that. And then whatever happens in the future as we figure out our family dynamics, of course, that's a really tricky one for the holidays of how you spend your time and who you get to see. And when you get married and you have this relationship and you build a new life, it is one of the most challenging aspects of
we fly on Christmas Day.
How do we spend the holidays? And so traditions get built in different ways, and we will.
It's important to me that you feel seen in our relationship.
Right. And I mean, the hard thing is, I know that Christmas is a hard time for my mom because my dad's birthday is a few days later, and he passed, less than a couple of years ago.
This is our second Christmas.
Yeah, so we know that it's a strange transition time, and it's a challenging time, and so whatever comes about with incorporating my side of the family and my sister and my mom who are on the East Coast now, it will come about in the right way, and I know that, and I look forward to that tradition being created as well. And everyone in Missouri is a cool idea. But we'll figure it out. And I have faith in that it will really...
We're all trying to be very gentle. Because, by the way, if no one knows, there is no manual for grief at any point.
No.
You think that you're like, oh, I've hit kind of a stride. That's famous last words. And so you have been exceptional because it's really hard. And the older we get, the more freaking real it becomes when, there's a lot of change. And so it reminds us how precious it is, but also how much we miss everybody.
Absolutely. And I think it's great to honor that. Another tradition, again, they just keep kind of flooding to me because, again, Christmas was a special time in our house. But all of our ornaments, my parents always told the same story where we'd get the Christmas tree out. My sister loved to fan it out and make it look symmetrical. And she was great at it, I'll tell you that much. But we had a box of ornaments, and they started with these little red ribbons. And my parents always told us the story of, well, we got married and had nothing.
They tied the little ribbons.
We tied these little ribbons, and we put those up. And then we had aunts and uncles and grandparents who gifted us ornaments knowing that we didn't have any. And
that's a wonderful tradition.
Every single one of them carried significance. And so when we put them on the tree every year, we remembered the people that gave them to us. And it was really powerful. And that was a really special tradition for our family. And we continue to honor that. my dad and birds and cardinals, and that
We see your dad.
we
Yep.
believe he comes back to see us in those forms. And so cardinal ornaments and things like that, and those are special things to me. Those ornaments are more than just something pretty. They represent something big, and it's so important to honor that.
This romantic man, I stepped away to, because I don't slow down very much, probably hot chocolate or had to tinkle, one of the two. And he saved our very, special ones, had a little stash set aside to make sure we were both knew right where they were on the forest, because it is not just one tree. It sounds crazy, but it's only a little crazy.
I don't think it's crazy at all.
That's right.
It's not enough, in my opinion.
I do when I was decorating the tree with your whole family, and I'm laughing because I'm like, there are like 15 cat ornaments, like kitty cats, hand drawn, purchased, lots of cats, and I have never, like you have owned that Juno, our kitty, is your only kitty.
Yeah, I love cats, and I have to precursor.
You're an animal person.
I have to say that because I didn't grow up around them, and that's because my parents do not love cats. And my sister wanted a kitten more than anything in the world for decades. Like, it was from birth till she left for college every single year, and the answer was always, we're not getting a kitten.
Oh
so
my gosh.
she got a kitten ornament every year.
Or made her own, because they were just so sweet. And did your sister get a kitten this year for herself?
She sure did.
What'd she name that kitten?
I don't remember.
Steven.
Oh, that's right, Steve.
I remember, because she's like, oh, all the Thanksgiving was just, get off the counter, Steven. Damn it, Steven.
I'm excited to meet Steve.
I can't wait to meet Steven. And so, yeah, people we miss. So I do think that this year, the give back was great, because that was, I would like to have something with more focused as opposed to reactionary. Oh, I still want to be that. I see a need, meet the need. But I also want to have a bit more of a larger, big picture. And I also want to have a tradition that involves some sort of nature in my life.
Ooh, I like that.
I feel like, again, if we're going centuries old, like I mentioned the burning at New Year's and kind of letting go ceremony. But other than that, kind of, having and maybe mourning kind of a sacred-y.
Yeah, you've been talking.
There I am with my solo tradition again. Sheesh. I don't want to invite anybody to my traditions.
Well, you could definitely start something, and traditions start small. A couple people and they grow. And so that's what I would say about that is like,
if this started, if it was a give back, if that was our one,
Christmas walkabout, that'd be really cool. Oh. Where everyone strolls. I think that would be cool. Like that's.
It's hard to get me to want to stroll on Christmas once I'm post-travel.
Yeah, I get that.
But during the season, I can definitely. But yeah.
What about Christmas Day pajama stroll?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a pseudo parade.
I love it. Yeah. Pajama parade.
I do have a bucket list that I think I'd like to do a Southern Hemisphere Christmas, but I can't miss Christmas. It's really tricky.
I was in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii for almost a year. And I say almost because Christmas rolled around and they were decorating palm trees. And I was like, get me out of here.
Oh, man. That was pretty. We were at the top of our driveway the other day. And this man, who was Kris freaking Kringle.
Yep.
White beard, white, but it is a beautiful day. It is December. Window down in his red truck with his red t-shirt on. And we both see it. We both luckily see it, and then goes by, and I think I was the first one. I was like, oh my gosh, it was Santa. And JT's immediate was, not my Santa. He was not having it. Way too flashy. Way too. I think you said it was Tim Allen's.
That was Tim. He was driving like a classic truck, and so I was just like, "That's not my Santa. That's Tim Allen's Santa." Right there.
It was a magical blip of time.
It was pretty cool, but I think Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Nailed Santa Claus. The polar bears,
Classic.
That is my vision of Santa Claus. And so if it's not snowing and you're driving a truck, I don't get the Santa Claus on a motorcycle. I love the traditional interpretation, vision of Santa Claus, and I think Coca-Cola nailed it. Mm-hmm. That's my Santa Claus.
I think that is a gorgeous, if you're going to lie to every child As a tradition, let's just step back for a second. We didn't even address those
That was the question I wanted to end on.
It's probably best to get close to wrapping this up. But we're literally all complicit.
Yeah.
I'm all about being nice, but not under threat of an elf.
It's a manipulation tool.
Got AI, some sort of Bluetooth.
Talk about Elf on a Shelf?
Cute. Terrifying.
Yeah,
I'm not in.
Behavior
I'm not
manipulation. I don't love that, but at the same time, it's a long-standing tradition, so we all do it. That was.
I am not the one to put my foot down on the long.
I'm not going to go around telling kids that Santa Claus isn't real.
No.
You kidding me?
So you remember how you thought if you
that was the question I wanted to end on. Do you remember how you learned that Santa Claus wasn't real?
Screw you, no. Man, talk about popping my balloon. You know, I do remember when my dad built us a beautiful home and chose not to put a chimney in it, and my reaction was terror.
Yep.
And so their dear friend, the Liebmans, Mr. Liebman, dressed up as Santa, putting Hanukkah down for one night for me to come 2 days before so I could give him a dry run.
Are you serious?
I was at stress level midnight. And my parents convinced their friend,
Michael Scott,
to dress up and come and let me show
their
him.
Jewish friend.
Their Jewish friend. Yes, saint. Yep. And I showed him which back door I'd leave unlocked.
Nice.
Where the cookies would be, told him what would be on the menu cookie-wise. Set up.
That's awesome.
I am so
That's
sorry
cool.
about this cold. Thank you, everyone, but it feels very on theme, and so I think we're going to keep it in.
Absolutely.
So I'm not contagious.
I asked that question because I wanted to tell my own personal story. Duh.
I was too scared to bring it up, so when you were like, "This is what I wanted to end on," I was like, "Our night is shot."
Sorry, Mom. I don't even think that they know this, but the way I figured it out was
Poor thing.
it was one of those Christmases where there was assembly required. My parents were tired. I remember they were probably up all night, and I got up at 4, ready to open gifts.
You ready?
But before that, I had a set of walkie-talkies, and I taped the talk button down, and
Put yourself at risk.
snuck that into the center of the Christmas tree so no one could see it, and then heard my parents putting things together and putting presents under the tree, and I was devastated.
I am. Oh.
That is how I figured it out, and it's my own
So
fault. It's my own fault.
You did. Oh, and so your sister knew.
Yes, my sister did know, and she did a really good job of making sure that the magic was still alive for me.
Cheers to all of those.
She was probably 10, and I was probably 8, or she was 8 and I was 6, somewhere in that range. But
yes,
it didn't kill Christmas for me. It just sort of changed the way I looked at it, where it became this magic built-in fantasy thing that was very fun as a child. And it just transitioned to a family time. And that was, I was able to recognize that even as a kid, that like, it's still special.
You just had to,
Yeah.
brush yourself off and keep on chugging along. That's really tough. And so was the vibe that morning when you had
Oh, I didn't care. I was
discovered?
all about the gifts.
You just went, just still happy, joy,
still
joy.
happy, joy. We did things that we didn't. We had coffee cake. Coffee cake never existed in our diet house, and so I woke up thinking about coffee cake and presents.
That is the perfect note. Coffee cake. I love that cinnamon, and I love making. I will bake to just make our house smell good.
Oh, absolutely.
Things that I'm like, that may or may not be good. Who cares? In Denmark, if you are single, if you are not in a relationship at your 25th birthday, at that mark in Denmark, they will throw cinnamon sticks at you.
Because you stink? I don't get...
I'm not really... I think maybe to draw attention and be like, hey, this one's available.
Oh,
I am
nice.
not sure. I don't think that's it. But cinnamon sticks.
All right.
You poor little walkie-talkie. We had walkie-talkies as a gift this year.
I know we did. And so, don't listen. Chase.
Yes, prank call. Oh my goodness.
Well, this has been a fun conversation.
I hope everyone has the merriest of
Absolutely.
whatever they're doing.
Enjoy, soak up your family time if that's what you get to do. If you're taking some alone time, soak it up too. Just enjoy the season, and I hope you get some time to relax.
Give yourself permission to take that minute. I hope that's possible for everybody. Just a little sliver.
Absolutely.
Well, I am feeling all the gratitude. Thank you.
Of course.
Until next time, I'm Jordan.
And I'm JT. Be brave, beautiful friends. Come back and see us.